how much do you need to retire on? Recent reports put that number between $3 to $5 million. If you're based in the USA, it's probably a pretty similar number if you're based in most Western countries. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Now, of course, this is due to inflation making your money worth less and less every single day. And the reality is that by the time a lot of you listening retire, if you're 40 now, it's 25 years until retirement, man. It's a long time. It's a lot of money printing away. That's a lot of market cycles away. It's a lot of interest rate hikes away. It's a lot of interest rate hike lowering away. It's a lot of new money printing, a lot of quantitative easing away. How much will your dollar actually be worth then? Because it already ain't worth shit. What's going to be worth then? It's an interesting question. Inflation continues to ravage. And of course, very dollar specifically, the dollar is facing some of the greatest challenges that it's faced in a very long time. And I've got a new video coming on de-dollarization for you. We're going to talk about that maybe in the next live stream. Different topic from today, though. But could you retire on $3 million in the future? What about $5 million? Is it even attainable for the average person anymore? Well, it's an interesting question because for a lot of people, it probably just means you're screwed. If you actually need $3 to $5 million to retire in comfort, you're probably going to be in a bit of a rough situation because getting a $3 to $5 million retirement portfolio, it is attainable. It is attainable for the average person. Let me break down the math here for you, but you are going to need to be investing because that is probably the only avenue to really not be screwed here in the process. So if you earn $100,000 a year, which is above the average, by the way, the average in the USA is $60,000 a year. Well, okay, you earn $100K a year, you're probably going to be getting $75,000 to $80,000 in that range post-tax. So the government's going to take about a quarter of your money approximately. Now, the average rent or mortgage cost is about $25,000 a year. So now you're down to $50,000 left in your pocket. Food, transport, clothes, entertainment, at least another $10,000. At least. Probably more, but let's be conservative. Let's say it's 10 grand. You probably have some student loan debt. You need to get some new tires for your car. Stuff like this. Maybe if you make $100,000 a year, maybe if you're very, very conservative with your spending, you're going to get $30K left at the end of the year. That's on budgeting tightly for decades. Okay. So your working life, let's say it's from 25 to 65. You're saving $30,000 a year. If you do that and just put it in a bank account where, of course, you're not going to earn any interest on it, well, you're going to get about $1.2 million. That $1.2 million sounds like a lot of money today, but you got to remember in 25 to 30, 40 years from now, that $1.2 million is going to have the purchasing power of like $300,000 or $400,000 today. Probably. That's pretty scary, right? But what if you don't start at 25? I didn't start at 25. Did you start at 25? If you did, man, killing it. What if you start at 35 instead? Well, then you're going to have a lot less money sitting in the bank at the end of the day. Hundreds of thousands less. So the only option for you really is to invest. The only option is to invest. It's almost not even choice anymore. So if you take that $30,000 a year, again, we're assuming you got a 100K plus job a year, taking that 30K a year, you're putting it in just the S&P 500. You do that for 40 years from 25 to 65. Well, that $1.2 million, I have good news for you, is going to turn into $13.2 million, assuming a 10% annual return for the S&P 500, which is what it's averaged over like the last 20 or 30 years. Pretty good. $13 million by the time you're 65. And look, even if inflation ravages 2/3 of that value, you're still sitting pretty sweet. You still got $4 million of what we'd probably consider money today. Not bad. But again, time is your friend and your enemy here. If you started at 25, which I don't think a lot of people start investing $30,000 a year at 25, but if you do, more power to you. A lot of people probably start thinking about it at 30. So you start at 35. Well, suddenly your nest egg drops from 13.2 million down to 5.4 million. Huge difference in that 10 years. Huge difference. Now, if you don't want to retire until you're 75, that's fine. You'll still get your 13.2 million. But by the time you're 75, you don't have a lot of time left. What if you don't start until you're 40? you're only going to end up with 3.2 million by the time you retire. Again, assuming that you're diligent with your investing, putting 30K in a year every single year, regardless of any other scenarios happening in your life. Now that assumes the ability to get and hold $100,000 a year job. The average is 60K. So a lot of people are earning less than that. Not a lot of people earning over 100K a year. 100K a year is a decent amount of money to be earning. Of course, you have to be able to consistently invest 30K a year. Stuff happens, man. Car breaks down, kids get sick, all kinds of crazy happens that's going to require your money. Saving $30,000 a year is going to require some damn strong diligence and probably not doing a lot. But hey, good news is once you're 65, you can, I guess, take a few cruises before you die. Cool. Of course, you have to start early. The earlier you start, the more compounding gains you get over time. And look, the numbers work here. If you can do that, the numbers do work. You can avoid the worst ravages of inflation and retire very comfortably. But most people are not going to do that. Most people are going to work until they die. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. Most people will work until they die. Now, before I break down the reality of that, one way to not work until you die, of course, is to get rich investing in altcoins. That's why I made the Mastering Altcoin Investing course. This is the course that I wish I had had when I started investing in altcoins. I've made so many mistakes over the years investing in altcoins. It's been crazy. But this is the course that's going to take you through the basics of altcoins. It's going to take you through the fundamentals, the market cycles, how to find opportunities, whether it be airdrops or token sales, the different approaches to investing, different strategies on how and when to buy and sell, all this kind of stuff. You'll find a link for that in the description, or go to thewealthmastery.io/courses where you can find more information on it. Now, that's one way, of course, to make money in markets. But here's the thing. If you're listening to this conversation, chances are you've already put yourself in a pretty good position in terms of doing okay later in life. And hey, maybe that altcoin course will help you if you're just getting into the crypto game now, or maybe you want a refresher on where things stand in terms of altcoins. But a lot of people are totally screwed already, and there's probably not much hope for them. And I don't mean that to sound negative or whatever. It's just reality. 57% of people in the USA can't afford a $1,000 emergency. Nearly 6 out of 10 people cannot afford $1,000. They don't have $1,000 on hand. These people aren't saving 30K a year. These people aren't investing in altcoins. They're not investing in tech stocks. They're not investing in index funds. They're not investing in real estate. They're happy if they can put food on the table this week. And wages are stagnating. Wages are not keeping in pace with inflation in a lot of countries, certainly not in the USA. A lot of people are going to work until they die. And they're going to be found, there'll be the Walmart greeter guy at 80 and be found face down in your soup in the break room by the 20-year-old dude. Sounds grim, but it's a reality awaiting far too many people. I don't want that to be me. I don't want that to be you. I really don't. Life's such an amazing gift. And to think that we have to retire and then just waste away. I saw a statistic, the hours of TV watched spike dramatically when people retire. Ideally, you should find something in your life that will keep you going. Retiring something that you do when you don't like what you do. If you enjoy doing what you do, if you have purpose, now maybe you stop the money-making activity, but you have other purpose. You have purpose in your community. You volunteer or you help raise your grandchildren, whatever it might be, but you need to have that purpose in life. And unless you have the financial backing to do it, you're going to work until the day you die. And it gets harder the older you get, especially if you don't have high skills. Not a lot of people are going to want to hire you. So you're going to end up working increasingly crappier jobs for less money the older you get, unless you break the cycle, unless you get out now. Now, the formula is simple. It's the execution That tends to be tricky for a lot of people. You got to spend less, obviously. You got to earn more. You need to seek more knowledge. The cryptocurrency industry, for example, is definitely an industry where knowledge pays. And yeah, there's always the story of the random ape who made $1 million investing on some meme coin somewhere, but that still took some kind of knowledge most times. Sure, a few people get lucky, but people who consistently make the most money in this market or in tech stocks or in real estate or whatever it might be, they educate the living heck out of themselves. They understand what money is. They understand how business works. They understand how to make money work for them. They understand how to find opportunities. They understand an edge somewhere. That's what helps people make it. You need to invest. The numbers I've just shared with you here prove definitively just saving money in your bank account is not going to save you. You need to invest. It's the only way that you're at least going to keep pace with inflation and hopefully beat it. And of course, you have to hustle hard. None of this stuff's going to be handed to you. No one's coming to save you. You understand that, right? No one is coming to save you. Certainly not the damn government. The government's not here to save you. The government's here to rob you. That's what the government does. The government steals your money, gives it to giant corporations. No one's coming to save you. You've got to save yourself. And the good news is, I don't want this to sound grim, but the good news is that the opportunities to save yourself have never been easier to reach. They've never been more prolific. You simply need to get out there, put in the work, and have the ability to have that conversation with yourself that failure is not an option. You got to burn the boats to take the island, right? Failure is not an option. I will succeed. I will be the first millionaire in my family. I have what it takes to live a life of financial independence, financial freedom, and I will reach my old age in grace and financial stability. I'm not going to be a Walmart greeter at 80.